I want to address this conspiracy theory that Jim Carrey has been replaced and determine whether or not it's a reasonable proposition. And I don't think we live in a very reasonable media ecosystem. There's a significant lack of internal skepticism on the conspiracy theorist side of things. So first, we must make a distinction between personal incredulity and skepticism. Appealing to personal incredulity, such as, "he looks like a clone to me," is not an argument in favor of that point. A skeptic would look at the available information, and that's what I do. Additionally, I ask if the conspiracy theories are rational propositions or baseless conjecture. Hitchens' razor states that what is presented without evidence can be rejected, dismissed without evidence. So let's start with this. If Jim Carrey has been replaced by a body double, as Tim Pool argues, then the following must be true. He fooled his family, or his family is in on it. Second, if Jim Carrey was sacrificed by the Illuminati, then we're looking at a murder mystery. 1. 2, it means the Illuminati exists, and it murders its members. So now we're positing this organization exists, and it does these things. And then 3, the body double, which has replaced the sacrificed celebrity, is fooling the family, and they don't know he was murdered, or they know, and now they have to live with a body double, or without him. So if a theory is valid, it will answer questions. It will provide the best explanation based on the available facts. This conspiracy theory so far raises additional questions, and it's based upon certain presuppositions of things that may not actually exist. Jim Carrey being a clone. Well, this implies that celebrities who might eventually have to be sacrificed have full-grown adult clones. And this one spoke French. And despite having advanced cloning technology to reproduce celebrities, they don't have it nailed down in the looks department, because this quote clone, looks so different that it's causing widespread speculation and doubt. Which kind of raises the question, why would they bring one out if it didn't look the part? 2, this also implies that clone technology exists in the manner described and can be used, therefore, to cover up murders of famous people. So to even run with this theory, you also have to be a believer in this type of clone. Other claims. Conspiracy theorists claim that Jim Carrey was left-handed before. So there are many people who are comfortable saying, "Oh, but he was left-handed." Well, what's your evidence? I looked into it. That claim has not really been substantiated. And if he was a clone, as reported by conspiracy theorists, then why wouldn't the clone also be left-handed? There are also claims that his eyes have changed colors, but these are based on contrasting photos under different lighting conditions. Another question. Cosmetic surgeons have chimed in on this. And so are conspiracy theorists in a better position to offer a valid opinion than a subject matter expert? Like, who are you going to trust? A surgeon who argues that Jim Carrey's looks are consistent with fillers and Botox? Or the explanation that involves Illuminati, clones, and human sacrifices? Which one requires fewer leaps in logic? And this is the Occam's razor, the law of parsimony. The explanation that requires the most leaps of logic is probably not the one. It's likely the simpler explanation. So in this case, without even deferring to the pictures, the claim that Jim Carrey has been replaced, murdered, cloned, or in some way swapped out with a body double raises a lot of questions, and to even posit such a thing, one has to accept unreasonable propositions. So I would argue that it's unreasonable, and those who stand by it are being irrational. And also, there's a certain level of arrogance to say, I know better than a surgeon. And I'm not saying just trust the experts, but if you're going to say that your opinion is more valid than that of a cosmetic surgeon in explaining what we're seeing here, then be open about it. Say, yeah, I have a more valid opinion than a surgeon. Because I think what we're seeing here is something else that's very consistent within conspiracy theory circles, which is a form of reverse snobbery, an automatic rejection of expert opinion. But expert opinions, the status quo explanations, do in fact matter. And as a skeptic, you have to address and overturn those before you can insert a better theory, a better explanation. So what's a better explanation? Something that requires secret societies that we know nothing about, but that somehow we know everything about, technologies that don't exist the way that are described, but are necessary for this to be true? Or looking at the more mundane, less interesting, less engagement baity explanation, then the guy had some work done. Anyway, I'm interested in your thoughts. Please comment. Have a great day.
You got maze